Welcome to special coverage of the 2016 elections here in the Uintah Basin, brought to you by VTV6. Joining us now in the studio, we have Duane Shepard, who is running for Uintah County Commissioner. Thank you for joining us today.
Yes, sir.
Just as a reminder to the audience, we pre-sent you 6 questions, which I will now ask you, and you've got 7 minutes of time to fill any way that you'd like. Okay. So the first question is if you could simply introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you, your background, and your qualifications for this position.
Okay. My name is Duane Shepard. I've been in the Uintah Basin for about 9 years now. My background extends from transportation and finance. Came from a background with airport management into finance, transitioned into that, back into transportation, and that brought me out here to the oil field, and that's where I've been working for the last 9 years. What that background entailed, of course, is commercial leasing and lending, mortgages, and also truck traffic, and also with the airport, I managed a crew of well, 2 crews actually, one of 8 and one of 4, and 4 aircraft with that. And that's kind of my background. There's also a lot of politics in there with being the chairman of the Uintah County Republican Party, being on the state central committee of the Republican Party, and also getting to know and having great relationships with the folks on the local and a state and even a national level of politics.
What do you see as the biggest issues that are facing Uintah County right now?
The biggest issue we face out here is the economy. Even my two oldest boys had to move into the Salt Lake Valley to find jobs. They're being successful out there. They are starting to raise their families out there. But again, we would rather have them out here, and they'd rather be out here. But actually, this is personal when it comes to the economy and creating these jobs, bringing in manufacturing technology, other things to diversify and to build up a base where we are not so dependent on the booms and busts of the oil field.
What do you see as being the good things that are going on in the county right now, and possibly things that you'd like to continue if you're elected?
Yeah, in fact, thanks for asking that. I'm the chairman of the Transportation District for the Uintah Transportation Special Services District, and with that we actually took on the airport, the Vernal Regional Airport, management of that as of January 1st. And I think you're seeing now we've got a lot of progress that's happened there with the Boutique Air and their flights, $49 to Salt Lake each way and $69 to Denver. We've got three flights that go to Denver and back each day, and 2 to Salt Lake. We'd like to expand that, see that that's actually we're redoing the whole airport so that we can actually bring in larger aircraft that needed to be replaced. But there's also good things. One of the biggest assets that we have here in the county are the people here, because they work. They like to work, they want to work, they don't want a handout. They want to have a job to go to, wake up to every day, and to go out and work. And that's, those are just a couple basic positive things that are happening here, but those two hand in hand, along with creating some diversification on our economy, that'll get us through this.
Yeah. What do you see the biggest differences are between you and your challengers to this position?
The biggest difference is, well, the very first one that comes to mind is the way I entered this race. And that is, I came through the caucus and convention system through the traditional conservative route. The other 5 that actually entered back in January declared that they were going to go through what's called now the progressive route, or the Senate Bill 54 route, which allows them to go around the caucus and convention system and go around that conservative system that's been sitting in place for years and years. Also with the other, there's talk of cuts and layoffs on a county level that I don't. There's other ways to find funds to fund the county. Traditionally the county people, they take a lower wage for stability, and that stability, they count on that stability to last through these tough times, and so they do take a lower wage than like the oil field jobs and whatnot. And so that's these are people that shouldn't have as affected as what the oil field has been happening, the loss of jobs there. But there's some positive things to look at there. But also the differences between me and other folks is that I have the substance. I have the experience and the background underneath all the marketing. I drove into town the other day and it almost looked like a circus because of all the signs that were up and everything. And I've got the substance underneath that, the experience and leadership underneath that, to actually hit the ground running day one as a commissioner.
How do you see the public becoming more involved in local government?
One of the ways we've done it at the Transportation District is we actually have our meetings filmed now, or at least we've got a proposal in to get them filmed. And one of, not filmed actually, it would go on a live stream through Facebook, where you can actually be out in the field doing whatever you're going to do anywhere in the world. And you can actually type in your questions to the person who's running that at that time. But also, the way people could get more involved is one of the plans I would like to see are some advisory committees underneath the transportation districts or other committees like that can actually advise those boards, have those boards actually take what they know from the general public and apply it to the boards and help. That helps the public get more involved there. You then build from that base from your advisory committees to populate the boards later on. Those are two different ways.
Yeah. And finally, what would you like voters to know about you? What maybe a summary of you that they can take with them when they go to the polls?
The summary of me is about conservatism. You know, when Senate Bill 54 was passed back in 2014, that allowed these folks to come around the caucus and convention system. The reason that's so important is back in, take for instance 2012 when Barack Obama was elected for the second time. You know, only 71% of the people in this county actually voted for the conservative or the Republican. That means 29% of all the other people voted other than that. At this particular race, one person could actually win this race with 26% of the vote, the way that now Senate Bill 54 brought in that new law. That means you could actually get somebody from the back end to actually come around and take control of this. Even though we are the most conservative county in the nation, we took that on last year, that could actually thwart the Republican or the conservative county that we have if you get the wrong people in play.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. Again, Duane Shepard running for Uintah County Commissioner, and thank you all for watching.